Hi, my name is Rachel Rose Burke, and I am the scenic designer for Bonnets, How Ladies of Good Breeding Are Induced to Murder. Originally, my approach to the theoretical design was based off of, first of all, a lot of conversations with the director and how we really wanted to play with the idea of women being the oppressor rather than the oppressee, which really kind of led to wanting to place these women in an environment where it was more dark, things that weren't usually feminine, so like cold, rough, raw, gritty. And then basically what I ended up doing was having this giant stone wall that had kind of some red tints to it, so it almost looked like it could be bloody. There were also these pieces of broken rebar down at the bottom because the whole wall was broken and was almost floating. And then we had this giant window that was also broken in many different places. So we had these fun pieces of refracted stained glass because there were elements of a god character in this play as well. So it really played with that, but also, again, with this broken, sharp, cutting feel to put these women in. Um, then we also had all of this kind of mirrored onto the floor. So what would have been really cool is having that light shine through that window and play with the colors on the floor. That kind of created this this space that wasn't really defined. It wasn't in a specific place or time period, as there were three different places and time periods in the script. So we wanted something that would play generally with all of those, but also be open to us specifying where we are. And then kind of how we applied it to the virtual set was really diving more into that dark feel. So we almost did a whole zoom into this wall where we focused on the bottom parts of it. Kind of like this really dark, empty void, but with these pieces of rusted rebar that are going to be coming through that have an overlay over all of the actors on the virtual screen. I think, we did the best we could. I think this was a new medium for all of us on the creative team, so having something that didn't take away from the dialogue and the other design elements as well was something we really had to play with. So I think because we dove more into that dark atmosphere, we didn't really get all of the colors of the stained glass, but I think it opened up a new world where lighting can then use those colors in a different way to kind of still keep with that, um, but really again diving into that dark atmosphere that we were playing with. So what I wish everyone could experience if it were actually built in the Wells Metz Theater was really the whole thing. The size of this window and the overall set was very large. It took up most of the space height-wise, and this window was 16 feet in diameter. There were also these hanging chains that were really meant to bring the audience into the story as well, that kind of hung over the audience and around the whole space. So it was kind of this other dark metal element that would have been really exciting to bring everyone into the story. And then I think, again, the whole floor and all of the platforms, and just, I think as a designer is really important to build that overall environment to bring all of the actors into one location. So something totally new that I learned in this process, as everything kind of switched over to virtual, is a lot of um, just virtual backgrounds and seeing all the different programs and softwares that you can have things behind people. You can key them in and out with a green screen. You can have a PNG overlay. A lot of these are very technical terms, but learning how to apply general visuals and renderings to like an actual moving streaming platform um, is really interesting stuff and was great to learn.